Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. It is hot as hell here in the UK, so we're going to go quick. We've got 10 elite ChatGPT hacks that will make you top 1% of ChatGPT users, make your workflow 100 times quicker. Let's get into it. Okay, tip number 1, persona fusion prompting. So I've got a prompt here. Consider the state of the UK university sector. And then, this is the key, you are both corporate strategist and a behavioural economist. Debate internally, then deliver a unified recommendation on reducing customer churn. Let's see what we get. Okay, we're using ChatGPT 03. And remember, all of the prompts and the guide on how to do all of these things that I'm going to show you over the next few minutes are in the link below. So go there now, download the cheat sheet and the prompts, and you can follow along with me. But here we go, 27 seconds, internal debate snapshot. So we have a corporate strategist view and we have a behavioural economist view. And so it looks at the sector outlook, very much looks at margin and deficits, etc. And then the behavioural economist, inflation and visa changes boost perceived costs, raising loss aversion and dropout intent. And then it goes through the problem framing, key levers, risks and metrics. And then it produces a unified action plan to cut student churn, spot risks early with a single heat score. So combine attendance, VLE clicks, finance flags, wellbeing checks, etc. into one predictive score by week 2. Pinpoints the 5 to 10% most at risk. Cons, data quality, work needed, privacy concerns. Send behavior, ally nudges at pinch points. So when it gets difficult, send a little nudge, stay on, well done, etc. Embed micro grants for living costs, or understand that living costs are an issue. So small grants paid within 48 hours of rent or food stress, etc. Belonging, the default, so auto allocate every newcomer to a 10-person mentor group. You've got to train the mentors. It's one of the cons. Pros, build social capital, addresses rising mental health dropout risk, offer flexible pathway insurance, pause and return, etc. Keeps people engaged. Public transport value dashboard, so show degree, return on investment, etc. Quick pros and cons overview, why this mix works, and then some references. Great. So got a problem, give the problem to more than one persona, get it to discuss it and come up with a plan. That's tip number 1. Let's move on. Tip number 2, you've got a massive document. You want to find out where to start. Drop the document into ChatGPT. It can be massive. This is my PhD thesis. It's 100,000 words. And I just want it to summarize each chapter into 2 bullets. See what we get. Boom. And there we go. We've got a 2 bullet point summary for each chapter. Chapter 1, introduction, frames the problem, maps the study's boundaries, signpost structure of the remaining chapters. Chapter 2, the critical literature review, defines FDI, M&Es, reviews leading FDI models, charts global rise in Chinese FDI trends, explores intellectual property rights theory, measurement issues, etc. And it goes through all the way through. If you want to find out what is in a massive document really quickly and easily, this is the way to do it. Just ask for a 2 bullet point summary of each chapter and away it goes. How quick is that? How easy is that? How useful is that? Let's move on. Okay, tip number 3, self-critique, refine cycle. Okay, so draft a LinkedIn post on the launch of Grok 4. Bang, let's go, see what we get. So here we go, we've got a nice LinkedIn post on Grok 4. Grok 4's here, what you need to know before you budget. XAI has rolled out Grok 4, step-by-step model aimed at, a step-up model aimed at long context, high-stakes reasoning. Below is a punchy rundown you can paste straight into LinkedIn. It gives the headline features, the specs between Grok 3 and Grok 4, got the sources, why it matters to your organizations. Watch out, heavy tier is by far the priciest mainstream option, so it's the heaviest on the market right now. Speed, multi-agent, heavy mode runs slower. Safety track record. Grok recently had some issues with an anti-Semitic outburst. So can you be sure about Grok 4? Context still capped, 256K. Trials Gemini 2.5 at 1 million tokens. So for very long projects, Grok might not be a thing. Okay, so we've got that. Now what I want to do is go in and say, critique your own work for logic gaps and bias, revise, show only the final version, highlight any differences. What I've asked it to do, what I've asked ChatGPT to do, is go back and look at what it's produced and then critique it for any biases or gaps in its logic, etc. Do a revision and then show me the final version, then highlight any differences. Let's see what we get. Okay, and here we go. We've got headline features. It's changed this last exam to 44.4% rather than 50%, I think, in the last one. Handles long research papers, code bases and mixed media in one go. Watch outs, take away, give me references. It's highlighted in bold the things it's changed. So it's changed these ARC AGI scores, humanities last exam score, and then pricing. It's also added in different pricing for Grok 3, Grok 4, Grok 4 Heavy. It only had Grok 3 and 4 there, you see. So it's done a better job. So using ChatGPT to critique its own work, to add more information in, to redraft itself much better, get a much better outcome. And remember, you can use these tools on Claude, on Grok, on DeepSeek, on ChatGPT, of course. You can use them on any of the models. These are just to get you even better responses to your prompting. Let's move on. Okay, so this time I want ChatGPT to make sure that it asks me questions before it gives me a response. So what I've got here is a prompt that says, okay, I want to set up a business offering support to boards on their understanding and implementation of AI. Ask me, and then what I've said, the additional bit, and this is the important bit, ask me questions until you are 95% certain you understand my request fully. Press go, and what it then does is give you a whole series of questions. Here are things I still need to know about before I'm confident I've got the brief right. Feel free to answer in any format. So it asks me about target clients, board maturity, service lines, delivery model, the role versus the team, pricing approach, regulation and compliance, competition, marketing and sales, success metrics, timeline, risks I foresee. Once it's got the answers, it can sketch a plan. So what I did was copy all of those questions and answered them. So my target clients, UK, are you aiming at listed companies, large private firms, SMEs, charities, public sector bodies? I put SMEs, but a mix, UK or international, UK only. I went through and answered all of these questions, as you can see, and then I submitted those. It talked to me for another 9 seconds, and it thought for another 9 seconds. Then it asked me, it said, I'm close, but I still need a few details to get it right. Sector focus, it asked about AI scope, vendor partnerships, differentiation with the big four, revenue target, legal structure. And again, I answered these here. So sector focus, do you want to specialize in certain SME heavy industries? I said, stay sector agnostic. AI scope, mainly generative AI and the tools that I use. Vendor partnerships, can be vendor neutral. Differentiation with the big four. And I've said lower fees, easier to interact with, etc. Revenue target, I've said I'd like a 50K revenue target in the first year. Legal structure and cover, I'll trade as a limited company. I'll need to become that limited company. And then it gave me the core, it thought for another 32 seconds and gave me the core proposition. Sector agnostic, vendor neutral micro consultancy that makes generative AI risks and opportunities clear to UK SME boards at a price point the big four can't match. Says why it matters, the services that I would provide, and Of course, it asked me questions to identify these. It set an initial price, and then it's bumped up all the other prices around it. Go to market plan, direct outreach, differentiation from the big four, compliance focus, year one P&L snapshot. Hopefully I will get 54K in around 54K in year one. Gives me a launch timeline, key risks and mitigations, next steps, and a checklist. It's got a confidence level of 90%. So it asked me questions before it gave me the answer. Really useful, actually saves time. Make sure that you get all the information you need. Let's move on. Okay, for this prompt, I've said, write me a report on renewable energy finance. And this is the key. This is the bit to add in. Act as the top 0.01% expert in renewable energy finance. Cite landmark studies from 2024 to 2025. So while I set this going, so this will give you that absolutely top end insight, like you might get from McKinsey or the big four, and you'd certainly pay a lot more for it. So this really focuses in on the absolute knowledge you would have at the very top end of the consultancy business. See what we get. And here we go. Here we've got that ultra expert persona. So renewable energy finance 2024-25, concise expert briefing, headline numbers, landmark studies, financing instruments, pros and cons. Really at that top end, this is what you would get if you asked McKinsey, etc. Emerging trends you could watch, solar cost deflation, key risks, opportunities, battery storage, offshore wind refinancing, takeaways for your strategy, high confidence level, and a whole load of references. So that's how you get that absolutely top end research that you would want and you'd be paying tens of thousands of pounds for. This is how you get it using ChatGPT with the ultra expert persona switched on. Try it, you'll like it. Let's move on. Okay, back to our business idea, our board AI business idea. And the prompt I've got this time is for this business idea. So I've just done it later on in the same chat. Give me a go-to-market strategy for this business. And now this is the key. Use tree of thought reasoning. Generate 3 solution branches, critique each of them, and converge on the best. Okay, it thought for 30 seconds. Go-to-market strategy, tree of thought. It came up with 3, it generated 3 solution branches, targeted outbound to boards, so direct account-based prospecting, Mind Company's House, warm first contact, offer £1,000 briefing, inbound authority marketing, pull leads through thought leadership, so writing weekly LinkedIn posts, quarterly 45-minute webinar, and channel partnerships, leveraging trusted advisors, team up with SME-focused accountants, solicitors, etc., and work with them to build your market. It then gave a critique of each branch, so branch A, fast path to meetings, board names are public, labour-intensive for one person, risk of being seen as spam, sending out lots of messages, scales without headcount, this is for B, scales without extra headcount, linked organic research still rising, B2B cycles average 3 a month, demands nurturing, needs steady content discipline. So me writing papers, I'm going to need to write them regularly to try and get my leads in. And then C, borrowing trust from advisors. So this is using partners already, C, compliance plan, revenue share cuts margin, dependence on partner pipeline. And then it converges these a hybrid of A, B, and C with selective use of C as capacity allows. First 90 days, build a list of target SMEs, post 1 LinkedIn insight, so a bit of A, bit of B, do a webinar, bit of B, months 4 to 12, track metrics, add 1 new partner, so a bit of C, review content and themes, and then budget fit, outbound tools and webinar platform, about £600 a year, paid LinkedIn ads only if organic reach stalls, and then some references. So using tree of thought to think through different strategies can be really, really helpful. That's tip 6. Let's move on to tip 7. Okay, so we've got our plan. This time, what I'm asking ChatGPT to do is think like our fiercest competitor. Rewrite the advice to sabotage us, then flip it to protect us. So it thought for 7 seconds. Sabotaging advice, what a big 4 rival might whisper in your ear. So spray and pray positioning, market yourself to all organizations from micro to startups. So diluting my message, race to the bottom on pricing, cut your £1,000 board briefing, slashes the margin, puts us in a position of being cheap rather than valuable, offer free pilots, will set a precedent, boards anchor on zero and resist paying later, write a 40-page white paper packed with academic citations, overloads busy directors, they'll put it away, they won't even read it, ignore professional indemnity insurance, one big risk could wipe me out, use only paid LinkedIn ads, burns up my budget, and we know they're not absolutely brilliant, partner exclusively with one small SaaS vendor for efficiency, ties your reputation to their roadmap, and you lose neutrality, delay limited company formation until revenue hits 100K, personal liability remains until that point, follow US AI regulation news, ignore the EU AI Act. That would work great in the UK, wouldn't it? So flip side, stay SME centered, hold the 1,000 fee, charge for every engagement, limit slides to 10, so don't overcook it, buy personal indemnity cover, post weekly insights, stay vendor neutral, register with the company's house, it even gives me a link to do that, track the acts, the EU AI Act, make sure that you keep in touch with it. Really interesting way of doing it. So asking ChatGPT to act as your fiercest competitor, get it to sabotage you, and then give you the mitigation to that sabotage. Really useful insight. Let's move on. Okay, for this prompt, I've said, act as my future self 1 year after launch of this business. Write a retrospective letter on what worked and what failed. So give me some insight into how I might approach this business launch. So it thought for nearly a minute. Letter to my January 2026 self, written January 2027. 12 months in, here's the honest scorecard. What worked? Board briefing, so I did 27 paid sessions. 2-hour, £1,000 no jargon briefing was an easy first step for chairs. EUA Act urgency. Boards wanted a simple action plan. It worked. Weekly LinkedIn insights. 64% of my leads came from organic posts. Vendor neutral stance. That really worked. Directors valued my impartiality. Limited company shield. Gave prospects confidence and kept personal risk low. Revenue target beaten. And I beat my revenue target. That would be cool, wouldn't it? Headline numbers. What failed? Spray and pray outreach. Their first 500 contact email blast had a 1% response rate, and it appeared that I was seen to be spamming. 2 free sessions drew 15 live attendees of the webinars, 0 conversions, times better spent elsewhere. Capacity pinch in August and October as the EU AI Act came into place. Partner revenue share did some work, but the fee split eroded margin, paused the arrangement. My height dip in Q4 2026, board interest cooled, once Gen AI project of the month fever faded, over servicing earliest clients, I gave away some extra hours, and it gave me some lessons for year 2, some quick steps for the next year's roadmap. So really, really useful to get ChatGPT to just sort of do that forward retrospective, because although none of these things are true, none of these things are real, it does give you an idea of how things might go with this project. And I think that's a useful insight. Anyway, you try it out. Let me know how it works for you in the comments below. Okay, hack number 9. Okay, now consider my business plan and go-to-market plan. First, respond as a cautious analyst, then rebut as an aggressive disruptor, end with a balanced verdict. So it thought for 20 seconds. All this using ChatGPT 03. So you can use this on the free model, on the free account, cautious analyst view, and only 57% of UK marketers plan to raise organic LinkedIn spend. The rest will crowd the same space, so your weekly insight play could drown in noise. 43% of SMEs still have no plans. Many will ignore the compliance warnings. So this is from the cautious analyst. Business model stress points, labour intensity, price signalling. Oh, what about that £1,000? That's too little. Regulatory focus, tiny marketing budget. I'm only going to spend £1,000 on marketing. Worried about that. Reputational risk as a sole trader. Would that actually work? And then the aggressive disruptor rebuttal. It's an underserved niche. Regulatory tailwind. So I've got the regulation supporting my business. Low adoption equals a big upside. Cheap reach. 4 out of 5 LinkedIn members are decision makers. Organic post cost time, not cash. So it might take a bit of time, but it might get there as well. Agility mode. You can ship a fresh EU AI Act checklist in a weekend. Their approval chains for the big 4 take months. And I've got scalable assets. Record the board briefings once, flip it into paid micro courses. You've got recurring revenue without any extra delivery hours. Balance verdict. Your plan sits in a real gap. SME boards need plain English Gen AI advice at a fair price. Caution flags around bandwidth, price anchoring, and upside in first mover advantage before heavier firms wake up. Fantastic. And it gives me a recommendation. Really good. So you can see how having that debate between 2 different personas looking at the same set of actions can be really, really helpful. And I certainly much happier reading what the sort of aggressive disruptor is saying rather than the cautious analyst. As we know, it's good to have that person in the background with caution. And that's why this is a really useful technique. You try it out. Let me know how you got on with it. Okay, hack number 10. Let's stress test this approach. So I've said in this prompt, list 5 scenarios where our business fails. Rank by likelihood. Thought for 9 seconds, so it doesn't take long. 5 plausible failure scenarios ranked by most to least likely. Rank 1. Lead generation channel dries up. So LinkedIn suppresses organic reach in favor of paid posts. Your weekly insights stop hitting boards. LinkedIn insiders report reach drops of 20 to 30% for text posts each year. So 4 out of 5 likelihood. So I might need to reach out. I might need to use some of those other methods of getting to market. So partners, etc. Maybe the blog, those sorts of things. SME apathy. So rank 2, SME apathy lingers. So 45% of UK SMEs still have no AI plans. And I think that could certainly happen. So what I need to do is get those SMEs as they start thinking about adopting AI. I don't need millions. I don't need loads. I need 20 a year to make my money. So what I need to do is make sure that as companies move into that area of adopting AI, that I'm on their radar. My solo capacity crunch, that might happen. My delivery model can be labor intensive. My price ceiling traps me, only thinks that's 2.5 out of 5. So the anchoring effect is well documented. If you set a price, it's difficult to go up from it. So need to think about that. And the regulatory timeline might slip. Not impossible that the EU Act will slip. I doubt it. August it's happening. But anyway, that could happen. So a really useful way to ensure that you've thought through what the risks might be around your business plan. And of course, you can iterate this over time. Okay, there you go. 10 hacks that will help you use ChatGPT for your business, your daily life more effectively. Tell me down below which one you're likely to use first. Try them out. Honestly, it will make a difference to how you use ChatGPT. And of course, you can use these, and you can use these prompt types with Gemini, with Claude, with Grok. You can use all of these with those platforms as well. Let me know how you use them and what value you get out of them. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, bang me a like. It really helps. It helps get the video out there and more people seeing it. If you've not subscribed, subscribe. That will be great. And ring the bell and you'll be informed every time I issue a video. I've been the Professor. It's hot as hell in the UK. I'll see you next time. Hopefully it'll be a bit cooler. Bye for now.